Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, my name is Peppo, and today I want to share with you my favorite longsword builds for Title Update 2. Lagiacruz and Sergios have been added to Monster Hunter Wilds, and as expected, they brought us new pieces of equipment to build new powerful sets. Before talking about the armor, I'd like to spend a few words on the new weapons. Sergios Longsword has 210 attack, 25% affinity, 20 points in white sharpness, and a new exclusive skill, Blade Scale Honing. This skill grants a special sharpness upon dodging an attack. More precisely, for Longsword it gives 4 points of a 140% damage multiplier sharpness. Remember that white sharpness has a 132% damage multiplier, and purple sharpness was 139% in the last two games. So this new special sharpness is slightly better than purple sharpness. The drawback is that 4 points of sharpness is too low, and you will end up using your natural sharpness very quickly. The skill works with Force Slash and Foresight Weird Slash, but unfortunately sharpness managing skills like Master Touch, Razor Sharp and Handicraft don't work with Blade Scale Honing. Conclusion: it's better to use an Arcane weapon. It has 20% affinity less, but has 50 points of white sharpness, 15 more attack and 300 element. Regarding Lagiacruz Longsword, it is the best Thunder Longsword you can craft at the moment. It comes with a new skill called Convert Thunder Resistance, which, as the name suggests, converts the thunder resistance points that you can see in your statistics into thunder element attack. Precisely for Longsword, every point of thunder resistance gives 4 thunder attack. So if you have 10 thunder resistance, you get plus 40 thunder attack. If you want to use this weapon, do it on monsters that are very weak against thunder, for example on Sergios. Compared to an Arcane Longsword, this weapon has 5% affinity less, 5 attack less, but 100 element more that can be easily increased with the Convert Thunder Resistance skill, and most importantly, 20 points more of white sharpness. What really makes the difference here is once again the decoration slots, with Arcane weapons having the upper hand, which ultimately makes them better. However, if you don't have a good role for a Thunder Arcane Longsword, the Heaven's Thunder is the way to go. Although the Arcane weapons, as expected, are still the strongest options available after Title Update 2, we can now finally use weapon skins and play with monsters' weapon designs when using Arcane weapons. To unlock the layered weapons, you just need to fully upgrade the weapon. It's pretty easy. This has been a blessing for me, as I really couldn't stand the Arcane design after playing this game for 4 months. Now let's give a look at the armor. Sergios armor comes with important skills for Longsword as Adrenaline Rush, Agitator and Counter-Strike. The best pieces are definitely the arms and the legs. Both give Adrenaline Rush 2, in addition the Vambraces gives a level 3 and level 1 deco slot, while the Greaves gives Agitator 1 and a slot level 1. Sergios armor can definitely have some value for Longsword because of the set bonus skill, Sergios Tenacity, which, with 2 pieces equipped, prolongs the Adrenaline Rush attack buff from 30 to 45 seconds, and during this time frame you can activate the skill again to extend the buff duration for 15 seconds more, but only once. I want to remind you that Adrenaline Rush by itself lasts 30 seconds, and cannot be activated again while the skill is active, but you need to wait until the skill expires to proc it again. The skill works with Force Slash and Foresight Weird Slash, making it very easy to activate it with Longsword. If you equip 4 pieces, Sergios Tenacity gives in addition also 5% base attack when activating Adrenaline Rush the second time. On the other hand, we can find Lagiacruz armor, which also gives very important skills for Longsword, Weakness Exploit and Maximum Might. The best pieces are the head and the coil. The helm gives Maximum Might 2 with a level 3, a level 2 and level 1 deco slot, while the coil gives Weakness Exploit 1, Maximum Might 1 and 2 level 2 deco slots and 1 level 1. Lagiacruz armor is very relevant for Longsword already just by looking at these pieces. On top of that, we also have the set bonus skill, Leviathan's Fury. With 2 pieces equipped, you can trigger the skill after landing some attacks and gaining 15% affinity for 20 seconds, with a cooldown of 30 seconds. What's more, at the moment you activate the skill, you deal plus 30 fixed damage and plus 70 thunder damage, which depends on the monster elemental hits on value. With 4 pieces, that 15% affinity lasts 30 seconds instead of 20, with the same cooldown of 30 seconds. Upon activation, you deal plus 60 fixed damage and plus 200 thunder damage. And finally, let's talk about the new builds we can create thanks to these new pieces. The first build I recommend is a mix between Lagiacruz, Sergios and Zoxian. Lagia Helm, Zo Chest, Sergios Arms, Lagia Coil and Sergios Legs. The skills are Weakness Exploit 5, Adrenaline Rush 4, Agitator 3, Counter-Strike 3, Maximum Might 3, Quick Shift 3, and Burst 1. The affinity we reach is 72%, and that's why I suggest using an Expert Jewel 3rd on the weapon to increase it up to 84%. When we proc Lagia set bonus skill, Azure Bolt 1st, we reach 99% affinity for 20 seconds. This build is fantastic if you like to play with Adrenaline Rush. The two pieces of Seregios activate Seregios set bonus skill. Seregios Tenacity, which extends the duration of Adrenaline Rush, and receiving plus 25 attack on a well-timed Force Slash is definitely something big. Since we have a fixed affinity above 80%, I also recommend playing with a Master Touch Jewel, which will make our white sharpness last longer. In this build, you also have an extra level 1 deco slot, which you can use for example for shockproof in case you play multiplayer, or any other level 1 skill you think it might come in handy. The second build is the dream build for all the people who are not big fans of Adrenaline Rush, but still want to have a solid and powerful build. It uses 4 pieces of Lagiacruz and 1 of Zoshia. In this way we obtain Weakness Exploit 5 and Agitator 5 in the same build, with the bonus of Azure Bolt 2nd, which give us 15% affinity extra for 30 seconds. The remaining skills are Counter-Strike 3, Maximum Might 3, Quick Shift 3, Stamina Surge 2, which can help recover the stamina quicker after a Force Slash, and so get back Maximum Might earlier, Lightning Power 1 and Burst 1. This build reaches 80% affinity and can go higher to 95% affinity when Azure Bolt 2nd procs for 30 seconds. What's more, Lightning Power 1 can give us 10% affinity extra for 2 minutes, which can make us reach 100% affinity. So with this build we don't use the Expert Jewel 3rd, but we can get Critical Boost 5 and as always Master Touch. The last build I'm offering you is the one that has the highest potential. It can reach the highest attack among the 3 builds, but there is a cost to pay, and that's called Lightning Power. If you don't like this skill, don't even try out this build. I recommend this set on very powerful monsters that hit so hard to make you proc Lightning Power very fast. Remember, you need 130 HP worth of damage to activate Lightning Power and get that juicy 50% affinity and 50% stamina reduction for 2 minutes and 30 seconds thanks to the Raidao set bonus skill. Alternatively, you need to stay in combat for 2 minutes to activate Lightning Power. The build combines Raidao Gamma with Seregios Armor in order to have Adrenaline Rush 4 and Seregios Fury together. When Lightning Power and Adrenaline Rush are both active, no build can reach the same power. The skills are Lightning Power 5, Adrenaline Rush 4, Counter-Strike 3, Maximum Might 3, Quick Shift 3, Agitator 2, Weakness Exploit 1, Burst 1 and Stamina Surge 1. This set starts with 45% affinity, which is low and that's why I recommend slotting in a razor sharp handicraft jewel on the weapon, but it reaches 95% affinity once Lightning Power activates. What's more, we have the group skill Lowered Soul, which grants 5% base attack until we proc Guts. It is reasonable to assume that also Uduna Gamma might share the same group skill, meaning that potentially this build is going to be improved even more when AT Uduna is going to drop at the end of July. Here are the 3 builds I chose to recommend for the second title update. Picking just 3 wasn't easy. This update brings a lot of build variety, and I came up with many different options, but in the end I had to narrow it down. Of course, there are plenty of other viable builds out there, so I encourage you to experiment and find what best fits your playstyle. I also want to take a moment to thank the amazing people from my Discord server who helped me brainstorm some of these build ideas. And if you haven't joined us yet, come be a part of the community. We are already deep in discussion about the longsword in Monster Hunter Wilds, and we would love to have you with us. Thank you for watching the video. I wish you a good day, stay safe, and happy hunting.